What does the bare minimum get you now? Man, it's tough. So, I'm fortunate to have two fabulous, great, awesome parents that were in my house was in the household with my siblings. So essentially, I got a head start, and I'm thankful to for my parents for raising me the way they did, and for being as stern and caring and all that good stuff. But I say all that to say this: some of us don't have the foundation that we need or that we would like to have. In some cases, I've also had teachers. There was a few teachers in my academic careers, also in middle school and high school and elementary, that really stood out. They cared about the student. They cared about your well-being. They might have been hard on you sometimes. They might have took you to the side and put something in your ear. But shout out to those teachers out here that are still doing that, even though you have some students with unscrupulous behavior. It's one of what teachers used to say. Miss Harris used to use that term. She's no longer with us, but she was a great instructor. She would, if you would mess up with something, she would say, "Bronson, redeem yourself." And I thought that was always real dope. And then after that, when you would get it right, she would say, "Check." So, man, I had some really good teachers also growing up. So that plays a huge role. Some of us have really good coaches that push us. I had one, Coach Williams, just one of them. Probably the one that really stood out the most. He would always tell me not to get complacent and not be complacent. They will push you. But also that carries over into your life as an adult and as you grow and you mature. So I want to say all that and get that all out the way. However, the minimum, the bare minimum, there was a time, and some of you Generation X, you baby boomers, you all know what this is probably like. Some of them individuals are older. There was a time where the bare minimum you could get by. It was okay. You went to work, you did your job, when you got done with your job, you went home. There was also at one time more unions. Over time, a lot of the unions are no longer here. There's a few unions within the United States currently. There's a pros and cons to unions, but my whole point is, there was a time you get away with the bare minimum. One thing my father always told me, he said, "Son, go to work, do your job, know how to work." That was one. Two, he told me to keep my nose clean. That means stay out of trouble. So stay out of trouble, period. Keep your nose clean. That's number two. And the third thing he told me was to pay your bills. The bare minimum is you're going to keep a job, you're going to stay out of trouble, out of prison, out of jail, and three, you're going to pay your bills. With that, paying your bills, most likely your credit's going to be okay. Obviously, you pay your bills on time, you don't have too many expenses, just pay your bills, your credit going to be decent. So if you have a job, you stay out of trouble, so that means you're not paying fees and fines and things of that nature, and then you pay your bills, your credit going to be decent. That's a pretty good, decent foundation, right? Pretty decent foundation. So just a pretty decent foundation is pretty much all my father gave me for the most part. And for the most part, that kind of kept me in line. But there's also that other part to where I was going to listen to a podcast earlier. Then you have you have a lot of professional athletes. You have a lot of, artists, things of that nature that don't know and don't understand finances. And, they didn't get that exposure to credit or insurance or life insurance or annuities and things of that nature. And that hurts us, going forward in life. If we don't know, the generations before us didn't tell us, and they may not have known. Like I said, my daddy didn't teach me any of these things. He told me to pay my bills. He told me to go to work. He told me to keep my nose clean. That doesn't talk about financial literacy at all. So a lot of things I had to figure out on my own, but it was at least a decent foundation. Some of us don't have a decent foundation. But I say I like to say this. Those was the bare minimum things that my father told me, and he's great. What are you giving to your offspring? What are you giving to your family? What are you giving to generations above you or in front, coming up? Please don't give them the bare minimum. The bare minimum gets you fired on your job. The bare minimum does not get you promotions on your job. The bare minimum does not help you grow as a person, because you go to work, you get off, you go play video games, or you go do recreational activities. That's not getting you ahead. The bare minimum is not keeping you in a financial situation, because if you lose your job, you have nothing else going. When has the bare minimum in 2025 been okay? It's not. And that's what we or I or others been trying to stress to others, that we cannot do the bare minimum more. At this point, you got to go over and beyond. It's really challenging, it's really hard, but the bare minimum is not enough at all. Check this out. There was a time, obviously, there's not many mom and pop shops at all. Like, it really don't exist. If at bare minimum you had mom and pop shops that, let's just say your credit is bad, let's just say your income is not great, but you can go to your local mom and pop, whether it's a furniture store or a grocery store or a shoe shop or something like that. And if they knew you and they had a good relationship with you and you was able to pay them on time or whatever, you could get away with that. 2025, it's not gonna work. I say all that to say this. I'm asking that we as individuals try to go over and beyond and not do the bare minimum, because the bare minimum is not getting us further. Now you're gonna have to go over and beyond, and I just been trying to stress that. So that's really what all I wanted to say. Like, the bare minimum, that's our topic. The bare minimum does not work anymore. Go over and beyond, better yourself, put yourself in a better position, and I hope that you understand where I'm coming from. This is Terrence Brunson here. Go ahead first. Give me some thoughts, give me some feedback, because the bare minimum is not working no more. You all have a blessed day, blessed night, blessed evening. Thanks again.